No two handwritings are the same, just as the DNA and fingerprints. And this reality is the bedrock of my sojourn in this report.
There is a new body of knowledge that is gradually coming into this part of the world. And with it, the personality characteristics of these Nigerians can be evaluated by merely looking at what they have written on paper. It is called graphology.
Here we have Mike, and we have Mike. Which Mike is the
Graphology is the analysis of the physical characteristics and patterns of handwriting for personality assessments. This has been in practice in some developed societies, but just creeping into Nigeria.
The pressure just shows you how emotionally intense that person is. So when
Oladipupo Macjob is the first Nigerian certified graphologist. He is an alumnus of the Handwriting University, Los Angeles, and Body Language Institute, Virginia, USA. Mr. Macjob is a pharmacist by profession who resigned to go into an unpopular field.
I was the first Nigerian to go for that kind of training because I asked them, has any Nigerian gone for this training? They said none. I couldn't raise the money initially, but I didn't let the dream drop. I put pictures around my room, just kept confessing, believing in it. I saw myself in the seminar room there. Each time I looked at the picture, I said, I will be here.
The two of us were working with multinationals, telecom, pharmaceutical. So at that time, I was still at home. And then he came up to say that, okay, he wanted to resign.
Let's have it in schools so that we are finding out one or two things from that child. You are seeing that this child has a tendency for violence.
Mr. Macjob explains how non-verbal intelligence can be used to build a sane society where round pegs will go into round holes and square pegs fit into their appropriate spaces.
There are certain personality traits you cannot find some other personality assessment tools bringing out. For example, sense of humor, enthusiasm, adaptability, organizational skills. How can you find out except you ask the person a question? He might tell you what you want to hear in the interview because he doesn't want to lose the job. But graphology can help us to know. Even though these guys scored 92% in the aptitude test, the attitude test from the graphological screening shows that he cannot manage anybody.
Recruitment, criminal investigation, education, psychological analysis, marital compatibility, medical diagnosis, and graphotherapy are some of the areas that handwriting analysis can be useful.
For narrowing down criminal investigations, some time ago, I don't want to mention the particular station now, area, somewhere in this Lagos. I was invited to facilitate at an event, and so I just gave just something on statement analysis, and they struggled to understand what was there. And so I was just wondering, these are supposed to be law enforcement agents, and this should be something that is just normal. Well, if our law enforcement agents cannot find out even from the handwriting or the report or the statement written by a suspected, criminal, then what exactly are they doing? What is happening to our training system? Well, how are we training the law enforcement agents in the country?
According to a 1991 study, more than 91% of public and private organizations in France made use of handwriting analysis. Graphology is still used for more than 80% of their recruitment in France, Israel, and some other developed countries. I got more fascinated and requested to see the practical process.
And they need the most suitable for the job of a salesperson.
His analysis of these 3 samples to pick the most qualified applicant amazed me. To him, graphology focuses on tests of attitude, while others look at results of aptitude tests.
The job in this case is a salesman. A salesman has to be, the type. Yeah, he has to have good people skills. Now, good people skills from these 3 samples, you can find out from how close the words are to together. This one is well spaced. So this guy loves his personal space. He doesn't really have a lot of friends. This one is out. This is out. And that's how you narrow down recruitment. Now, this one and this one qualify because the words are a bit together. However, this handwriting is small in size compared with this. So this guy is the one for the job. And honestly, if you see this lady,
And with the score, and this person has
he doesn't. He has a least score, but this is what we would recommend.
After giving him a sample of my writing, I was shocked the way he evaluated my personality features.
One of the things that was very striking for me when I saw this is that you are somebody that you have a critical thinking mind. So that the way you pick information is such that the things that you have a way of pruning things that are not necessary. You are not a cumulative man. If you see a cumulative learner, you'll see the letter M's this way. They are curved. But yours is sharp. That's one of the traits that shows that. And people like this, they understand concepts on time. You tend to do a lot of things at the same time. Okay, because as you are picking up an idea here, you are picking up an idea here, you are picking up an idea here, you don't follow through. I think we have to stop at this one.
Won't people think that you are into witchcraft for you to be able to identify or perhaps determine the trait of an individual just looking at his handwriting?
It's pure science.
Will handwriting analysis also be able to address political and corruption-related issues?
One of the things we should request for is, can we have a sample of your handwriting? If I can even help the electorate to make better decisions. Because from the handwriting is showing that it's aggressive. The handwriting is showing that it has, in a careful manner, let me say, it has a tendency to want to aggravate a lot of things for himself, personal aggrandizement, in the handwriting sample. So, but the point also is, will the graphologist be safe if he should post that kind of thing out there and say, well, these two candidates, these are the handwriting, details. You guys should now choose. He probably might not be able to say in the country anymore.
He made it clear that handwriting can give insight into intelligence, drives and motivations, fears and defenses, emotional outlay and social aptitude. However, it cannot tell a person's gender, race, religion, future, nationality and creed.
Stakeholders like Chartered Institute of Personnel Management need to adopt something like this. And every HR manager must have a knowledge in handwriting analysis. Otherwise, you are not yet there. Because this is something that is done, looking at best practices globally.
As interesting as this may seem to him now, Mrs. Dipo Macjob explains what it cost the family to effect the switch from a lucrative job to handwriting analysis.
We were supposed to go and meet the client, and there was no money to fuel the car. We went to a bank at Ola Awakan, and he went in, he said he wanted to go and make a withdrawal. So I thought maybe there was still few thousands. So when he came out and he entered the car, he just started laughing, and I was like, why are you laughing? And he said he just withdrew 300 naira. And we just started worshiping God in the car. And as we were worshiping God, the two of us got emotional. We just started crying.
Nonetheless, she believes the future is bright.
Yes. Government has a lot to do with it, and also private sectors. Though it's something that is new in Nigeria, but over there is not new at all. But there is a future, because we just can't continue with what we already know. There is room for improvement.
Life is the only fortune worth finding, and it's not to be found in foreign lands, but in the creative self of the individual. You're welcome to Your Side Mirror this great day. My name is Victor Oteri.
This veteran broadcast journalist is one of those who have joined Mr. Macjob in this graphology sensitization journey.
Graphology is a new body of knowledge, so to speak, that is gradually gravitating towards this part of the world. How do you think our people will accept this new body of knowledge?
If we invest more in this area, there's so many things that we can get. For instance, Dipo Macjob diagnoses handwriting samples just to try and see who fits into which area in corporate organizations. And I'm sure if we do that, a lot of things would have been eliminated. Students who go into pursue courses that are not relevant to their discipline. Those ones can be sorted out. You want to hire somebody and you're not very sure of his traits. With graphology, you can determine where you're going to put this person in your organization. It creates room for efficiency. And so if you can have that, what does that tell us about our country? It means we are going to be putting the right, or perhaps what, as they do say, square pegs in square holes. So it helps to build efficiency in our country, and then it also improves productivity. Because if you put the right people in the right place, productivity will be very, very high. That's what we need.
Handwriting is actually brainwriting. So if everything had to do with only just the hand, then you will not find some people that don't have hands writing.
Mr. Macjob has been a facilitator at different platforms. He explores many gray areas, like knowing if someone is abusing drugs by analyzing the handwriting.
We might not know for sure which of the substances is abusing, but when a chemical is inside your system, it can be detected in the handwriting after a while.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education in Lagos, also finds graphology interesting. She believes the education sector needs to embrace it to enhance better teacher-student relationship.
We need to make a lot of advocacy and sensitization for people to know the importance. If we don't do all that and just go straight to introduce in schools, it may not last long. So we have started in the right direction, the teachers who are the educators. And training is very important to teachers. And the Lagos State government does not joke with training, retraining of teachers. So I want to believe the journey has started. If people can get to know about this, it is going to help. Imagine my daughter, there was a time that we found out that attention, her focus wasn't really that, yes. And the dad placed that on graphotherapy. Yes, graphotherapy are the things that you use to correct some things, in the person's behavior. And that place, she didn't like it because it was like, Dad, I'm tired, continue, But it helped her to be focused. And we got a report after a few weeks, I think 2 or 3 weeks. Our teacher, when we asked her, how far, I hope she's better now. And the teacher said, yes, she's better. Whatever you are using, Mrs. Macjob, please continue.
I believe that graphology has a place in Nigeria, even for our leaders. What we've always encouraged is for us to have strong institutions. What we have at the moment, we're having strong men, strong people who are individual leaders, so, those who are trying to use their own little ways, use their own talents or their treasures to try and rebuild Nigeria. The time will come when institutions will be solid. And when these institutions stand with concepts like graphology, can help to rebuild our country. So I believe that there's a future for it in Nigeria.
In making the knowledge of graphology accessible to all, Mr. Macjob is working on a handwriting analysis application called The Right Track, a digital simulation of the handwriting analysis that an expert would do normally.
Sure, their handwriting and their signature look the same.
The first book on graphology was written in 1662 by an Italian philosopher, Camillo Baldi. With the way handwriting analysis is gradually gaining acceptability in Nigeria, its true ability to deal the issues militating against social development in the nation may just come to light soon.